Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to WrestleChumps. I am your host, this Barry, here with
Billy Bob Tanley, folks.
And today we have a lot of things to talk about with the, it's pretty much just one major topic we're doing this time. Usually we'll do multiple topics, but this time, make sure my microphone's right in my face, but this time I think it's going to be just one major topic that honestly has a lot to do with BBT and his little circle of friends, his family there, the PG era. The PG era possibly coming to an end. Now, I'll warn you guys right up here, right up front, I made a sin. The sin of video recording is never, ever drink milk or eat milk products before you record. I did exactly that, and I ate a big old bunch of ice cream before I came on here. So, it might get a little cracky sometimes. I got my Mountain Dew here to save me. And I'm having the... Yeah, that's a terrible idea. And I did the wired headset because my wireless one just ain't working for some reason. I don't know.
You got that happy white shit going.
I wish I had me a black one because it'd be much harder to see with this shirt and everything. But this white one shows, man.
Yeah, maybe a red headset.
Something. But this is what I got right now, all right? It's a cheap-ass Sony headset, and it's what I've got. So I hope there's no echo in this episode. If there is, well, I guess we'll find out about it. I'm not hearing myself repeat on your end right now, so that's good. So anyway, we're talking about the PG era. I've got a bunch of notes. BBT's got a bunch of notes. We're talking about the PG era and the possibility of it ending.
Needs to die, man. Needs to go away for good. It's made the show shitty.
I figured you'd be super excited to know that this was a very high possibility right now, because you and I know your friends, your Bubba Dunk Funk and your family or whatever, I know they've been ranting on this stuff for years. They hate the PG era so much to the point where it's a little weird that they hate it as much as they do, but they can't stand it. Well, here's the thing.
I knew it was going to be a downfall the moment it went PG in 2008 again. But Billy, it went to a PG back in the day too. I don't care about back in the day's PG. It's today's PG that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's what's causing the downfall. It gives these writers and stuff excuses to make a shitty show, and Vince goes happy and shit on PG. He's lost his mind, people. He's senile. I don't know what's wrong with this guy. PG and Cena was always on his brain, and Cena's kind of retired now going to movies, but the damage has been done. Cena has already caused damage, and I don't give a shit. It's still garbage. Now we got a bunch of guys on there doing flips and kicks with no personality, no mic skills, no charisma, nothing. They're boring. They look like 5-foot midgets, vanilla midgets. Yeah.
Does that have anything to do with PG though? Just because people are a little shorter and they're not as big and masculine, does that mean that it has anything to do with PG?
It's become the PG indie era. That's what it is right now. The PG indie era. There's no tough looking guys on there. No one intimidating. Nobody that looks like kick your ass. Just the guys on there happy to be there doing flips and kicks. They probably would do something else with your ass.
But you do realize that when it comes down to PG, that has nothing to do with indie. If you're mad at like the little indie flips and kicks guys, that's not going to stop. Just
they have no star power.
Well, that's not what they're changing. They're changing the rating, meaning like there may be some blood and some cursing and suggestive themes.
Because it's still PG. When you watch Raw, you'll see it right in that top corner, TV PG. But that shit's about to change. Hopefully these no personality indie guys will give a personality, regardless of their size.
Well, that's all. That's not to do with PG directly as much as it has to do with Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff being in charge of creative. Because even if it went rated, hell, it could go rated R for all I care. It really doesn't matter if the scripts are shit. They're going to be shit.
You know why the scripts are shit? Because it's PG. PG equals handcuffs to the wrestlers. They can't be themselves. They just gotta do what Vince wants. He's what writes all the shit.
But you do realize that it's not just PG that's doing it. It's also the fact that they are having to read a script constantly instead of being themselves and cut promos. Yeah, like it's an act all the time to the point where they're not themselves. They can't even show a little bit of themselves. So it's not just PG. It's just constant having to follow script.
But PG is the problem why they got shitty scripts. Because these writers like, PG is the reason why we got to write this way. For kids.
Well, sure, but
slap Vince.
Even if it was PG-13, if the writing's still garbage, you're going to get like a terrible, terrible movie with just bad writing. It's
I don't
rated
want
R,
to be
but it's a
PG.
trash horror. Okay, well,
want
I'm just, it's not actually rated R, guys, but I'm just saying, I was using an example. Even if it was rated R, bad writing's bad writing no matter what the rating is. So hopefully Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff also do something, so it's not just the rating. But as for the rating itself, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what possibilities could happen with this
TV
rating.
14. Until I see it go to TV 14, I don't think it's going to change much.
This is not a confirmed thing. Right now, this is still a rumor. At this point in time, it's just people saying this is very high possibility. There's been a lot of things surfacing online to say this may actually be happening, but there hasn't been an official rating change or any actual proven thing saying, yes, this is changing. The rating is changing. Here's the thing. You probably have this in your notes. I have it in my notes too. But they had, not only did they have Braun Strowman and the Bobby Lashley spear thing through the thing, but they also had, I think it's Kofi Kingston against Samoa Joe, and he flipped him off.
He's cutting a promo in the ring, and Kofi Kingston flipped off Sloppy Joe.
Sloppy Joe. Is that one of his nicknames now? Is that what people are calling him?
I've heard that. Yeah, I've been calling him Samoa Baloney, and I'm hearing now Sloppy Joe.
Well, I'm not going to call him into those. Honestly, he may be a little thick, but he don't look bad as a wrestler. He's a bigger dude. I mean, he's got a little brawn to him, even though he's out of shape. I mean, hell, Mick Foley was out of shape, and because of his wrestling antics and stuff, I never really looked at Mick Foley and said, "Boy, he's got a belly, so he can't do anything." That's clearly he's like on top 10 my list of favorite wrestlers. So
he was a pure badass in TNA. They didn't do what they did with him in TNA, wrestling Kurt Angle and all these big guys and being an undefeated badass. Now he went to WWE with NXT, got the main roster, and had mediocre stuff. Sometimes he'll have a great moment here and there, like he did with Brock Lesnar, but
that's what I was thinking
Joe.
about. His stuff with Brock Lesnar. I went back and watched all that, by the way. His stuff with Brock Lesnar. When they did the interview backstage, and then he went looking for him backstage when he did the what's it called? His finishing move. I don't know the guy enough to know his finish. What's it called? The headlock, the thing he does, the chokehold. He did that.
I forgot.
Yeah, I forgot it too. But I went back and watched all of his stuff with Brock Lesnar. I don't know much about Samoa Joe as an indie wrestler or any of that stuff, but I really liked the aggression of the guy. I really liked the attitude of the guy. It came off very authentic. I thought he was a very good mic worker in that way. And I thought the guy... Yeah, I thought the guy had promise against Brock Lesnar, and they really put him over against Brock Lesnar. And like I said, I went back and watched all that stuff, and that's before he was doing WrestleChumps. So he actually did catch my eye, and I thought, this guy's got some aggression to him. He's got a really ugly, mean look to him. He don't look like your sweetheart, like your sweetheart PG pretty boy. He looks like somebody that could really kick some ass. And while he might be a little thick, he's a thick boy, he does look like a wrestler, and he can keep up with his, with other people. He keeps up with his own here, so he does pretty good. I like the stuff that he was doing with Brock Lesnar personally, but that was
they say he's a good heel right now, really badass heel, like a douchebag.
I saw the promo with Kofi Kingston and him, and Kofi's just like like smiling at him. It was really shit because Samoa Joe back when he was doing Brock Lesnar would have never taken that shit from anybody. Like
he would have headbutted him.
Yeah, like that would have been the end of that.
Came out. Yeah, there's only been a few edgy things that's happened on that episode of Raw. Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley going through that LED Titantron, and then the next night, I guess, Kofi Kingston flips off Sloppy Joe. Oh, yeah, I heard the Raw debut of Mike Kanellis and Maria Kanellis. They're like a husband and wife, and they got a pregnancy angle going on, I guess. She's supposed to be pregnant, and she's emasculating her husband, saying he's not a real man, and he couldn't have been the one to impregnate her. Some people like this pregnancy angle, and some people don't. I guess that's considered edgy.
It is edgy, but I always go back to this. The current time that we live in with the whole, women are going for the strong independent thing right now. I don't know if you could pull that off and win anybody over today because, well, obviously women probably won't take too fondly to that. I mean,
they need to quit fucking watching wrestling!
Well, that's supposed to be a show for everybody.
It's a show for men beating the shit out of each other, but for people to get offended about everything. That's why it's PG and shit, because people go, I'm offended, I can't let my keyboard sit. Go away, you're the reason why wrestling is dead.
I agree. I'm not going to disagree with that. I do believe that it is people being overly sensitive, and I think no matter what, regardless of gender or whatever, shit's going to happen. You need to get the hell over it. If you're going to get that offended by it, then you got some priorities you need to fix, because clearly you've got a problem. If you're worried that much about that kind of shit constantly, you need therapy or something. Like, quit thinking so hard about why is it offending people personally. Well, this girl's pregnant. She's possibly playing in a hoary storyline. I don't know. So that she's not you, and it doesn't mean that this woman represents all women in the world. Like, this kind of shit does drive me nuts, man. That kind of shit just drives me nuts. But it will offend some women. It will offend some women. Will be like, well, women shouldn't represent sex appeal and all this. That's fine. That's fine, but you're not that woman. Not all women are this woman. And if you're mad about the WWE doing what they're doing, go talk to them about it. They ain't going to give a shit, though. It's their show. They're doing what they want to do. Go start your own wrestling business. That's where I see it.
All these movies and stuff coming out, you know. Never mind, I won't go into that.
What are you talking about, movies?
Women always complain about them not being treated right. Look at all these movies today. There's black women as the main stars now.
You know, a lot of that is because of the women complaining.
The feminazi shit going on. I ain't going to go into this.
Have you noticed the boom, though, of women stars in video games and movies and products in general? Like, women are like, they're the top dog right now. And
some people are getting pissed about that because it's been shoved down our throats.
Well, I get mad because I don't feel like it's as much about representing women as much as it is a political message and marketing. Companies nowadays
bullshit.
Well, it's not Illuminati. Hollywood caught on to they can make money off marketing women. So a lot of the women and stuff are taking it as, we're getting to be strong and independent. No, Hollywood just realizes that makes money. They're actually utilizing women right now like a hot product on the shelf. That's what's screwed up about it. That's why I can't get into half of it.
There's been a few things like as the women's protagonist, like Jill Valentine, the Resident Evil 3 star, and this is before this shit started. And Tomb Raider, you got Lara Croft.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, there's always been good stuff, but I mean, it's getting to the point now, sorry about being a little off topic here, it is to do with WWE, but it's to do with the women's division and everything, but it's getting to the point now where, like I said, it's not even about trying to make women independent or stronger, even equal to men. It's about, like I said, trying to sell them like products on a shelf now. They're using women to make money. They figure if we get the women on our side, that's going to do a good marketing campaign on Twitter and social media, because the women are going to give us the thumbs up, and that means our movie is going to sell tickets. No, it ain't. That's not what it means at all. That's the wrong assumption. That social stuff does not equal financial gain. It does not.
It's woman power. Yeah, woman power.
I don't have a problem with that if it's really done for the women. It's just not. It's done for marketing and politics. That's it.
So I'll be considered a sexist if I like to say I'd like to see women in their bra and panties on WWE like they used to do. Oh, that's so sexist. Hell out of here with that shit.
Well, I don't know if it's sexist to think a woman is attractive if you.
I guess we're not supposed to think women are attractive anymore. No, you women you're just blah. Have our children, blah. No sex appeal.
It's okay to think they're attractive, just be respectful. Don't go up to a woman in public and be disrespectful. There's a difference to say, oh, that girl looks attractive in underwear versus I'm going to be disrespectful about it. That's the only thing with me. Like I said, I don't give a shit. Yeah, men should be attracted to women if they are. Women can
It's in human nature, you dumb shit! It was programmed into us.
So let's get back on the topic here. We got way off. It went on the divas. Let's get back onto the point. One of the things I want to ask you your opinion on this. If they really are leaving PG, do you think it was Vince's decision to do this?
Well, AEW's pretty much getting all the money. They're taking his talent away, and he thinks he's going to have to fire back and make his show back to the Attitude Era. People are saying the Attitude Era. He's going to bring that back so he can counter AEW for taking his talent and making people watch his show because the ratings have went down. The crowd attendance has been so bad. Empty seats in the arenas. He's got to do something. He finally realized somebody must have had a little pep talk with him backstage. Like, we have to talk, Vince. Please listen to me, even though I might get fired for telling you the truth. And they told him all the shit's going on. He finally paying attention. He's aware of AEW out there. It's real, folks. The AEW effect is real. And if you don't like the show, if it's a bunch of indie guys, they're still got the money to buy Vince's indie guys and make it their indie show. Indie versus indie.
So what you're saying is you think Vince is the one that's making this decision? essentially, because of AEW, Vince is making the decision to take it from PG to go to TV 14 or whatever.
Well, Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff are the executive directors. That's a move out of desperation because the show sucks. It shouldn't take another company out there to make him realize, oh, I need to improve my product. He should have done this shit 10 years ago.
That's why competition's good, because he got lazy. He didn't have any competition, and now he does, and that's making him make decisions that he needed to make years ago.
Did you hear... Well, Stephanie McMahon was asked about AEW. I forgot what her response was, but she didn't mention them by name, but she said competition is good or something. They said, well, what do you think about AEW? And she said competition is good for something.
That's what Stephanie McMahon said?
Yeah, because somebody approached her.
Of course she's going to say that. What do you expect her to say?
You know what that means?
Screw AEW. I wish they'd die. Like, she can't come on there and say that. So she's got to be respectful.
It as competition. She admitted it. It was competition. And these fans out here saying AEW is not competition. It must be. You got Stephanie saying that.
I'm sitting here. I'm looking at my notes right now. One of the things that we're going to sit here and talk about real fast is what's considered appealing today versus yesterday for a PG. Go ahead. What is it?
At Corey Graves chanting "Holy shit" during that Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley thing. You know I said it before, and explosions and pyro. There you go. That was edgy.
Yeah, we did a thing on that. There's like a whole podcast. I think it's like 10 minutes. You took it from the live stream where we talked about the Braun Strowman and we talked about the explosion and all that stuff that went on with Bobby Lashley and him, and how Corey Graves went on there and said "Holy shit" or whatever. And I'm not a child anymore. I don't get a kick out of just hearing a curse word. Oh boy, it's breaking the rules. It ain't Disney. Woohoo! It's just there's got to be something more progressive in the company. That's just, you got to do more than just holy shit. But anyway, one of the things I was thinking about is the differences between what a TV 14 era would be like today versus yesterday, and that is, back in the day, supernatural tank-looking men used to be, that was the thing, man. Like when somebody came in there and they could just knock a truck over with one hand, that was appealing. Today, even though it is going to go TV 14, we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but even though it is going to go TV 14, today's appeal, and this is something that kind of drives me nuts, man. I'm going to put my notes down for this one, but something that kind of drives me nuts is the fact that not only is it about, I know you don't like the flips and kicks, but that is today's era, and a lot of people like that. So even if it's not just about the tank men and stuff
Smarks like that. Neckbeard, not real wrestling fans, just smarks. Neckbeards. Oh!
I'm not going to pretend to know what real wrestling fans like, because to call myself that would be a conceited fucking thing to do.
I know what product I like, and it's not today's product until they change it.
That you like. You know what product you like. I don't know what everyone else likes.
Smarks have taken over wrestling, man. You know what a real wrestling... It's because we like a show that's entertaining, edgy content, you know, great mic skills, characters, like The Rock and Stone Cold. A cool product that draws in ratings, you know, can't wait to watch their show. That's being a real wrestling fan.
Well, here's the thing. I think... And I know a lot of teenagers and stuff will get pissed off at me, but I think we live in a really conceited era to the fact that now, I used to, people always liked it when a wrestler related to them. Stone Cold Steve Austin is a perfect example of being a redneck, just a daily guy that rebelled against his boss. They've always cheered for people that related to them. But nowadays, we are, as fans, we are getting really, really, really conceited. And I mean, like, not only do they have to act like us in our lifestyle, they got to look like us too. They got to look like they came straight out of working at a Starbucks and got into wrestling, like some average guy. They all got to look like just average dudes you just see every day at a store or whatever. And it's getting to the point, like I said, it's conceited. Everybody, well, if he don't remind me of me, if he don't remind me of my lifestyle, the way that I look and the things that I do in my life, then I'm not going to be a fan. Well, let's boo these people. Because Brock Lesnar's huge and muscular, which I know Brock Lesnar's done other things to get him booed, but I'm just using him as an example. Because he's huge and muscular, we can't relate to him. And a lot of times people are starting to dislike people simply because they can't relate to them, which is why indie becomes such a big fad, is because they're like us. They're one of me. They're one of me. They're not one of you. They're not one of you. They look like you. And guess what? They may do kicks and shit that you love, but the fact of the matter is they're getting a big fucking paycheck. They're making a bunch of money. They're not like you, man. They ain't struggling with bills like you. They're much different in so many different ways. A lot of them have wrestling heritage. A lot of them even have people in the family, a lot of times like that was connected with wrestling. So just because they look like you doesn't make them a great wrestler anyway. That's not why people need to be trying to vote for people. Oh, he reminds me of me, so I'm going to vote for... That's conceited. Like, that is some conceited shit. Seriously, think about it. That is just on another level. Get the fuck off yourself.
You know
you
what?
are not the end-all, be-all, and people that look like you ain't either. What is it?
You know what? If you people out there like flips and kicks so much, go take gymnastic classes. Go watch them Olympics and shit. There's your flips and kicks. Quit involved in wrestling and destroying it with poison.
Well, they need to be built. They need to be muscular people, and it's not just all about appeal. It's because if they're built, if they're muscular, they can handle themselves in a ring. That means when they lift somebody up in the sky, they ain't going to drop them on their fucking head. They need to be built. That's why football players are built. It's not about just marketing muscular men because they look cool. It's about the athleticism that's necessary for the product. You don't injure your opponent, and they don't injure you. Go ahead.
It's about telling a story in the ring. It ain't about a bunch of doing flips and kicks. Look, if you want flips and kicks, you can have a few of them, and that's called the cruiserweight division. But don't fill the entire show with nothing but flips and kicks and guys with no personality and mic skills. Get the shit out of here, man. We need some big guys in there, too, for the entertaining matches. It's about telling a story. Just because they can't do a flip and a kick, they suck as a wrestler. Get the hell out of here with that shit.
Not everything needs to be an equal division. There are a reason, not just in WWE as an entertaining show, but in real things like UFC, there are a reason divisions are there. There are a reason there are weight classes. Imagine if somebody said, you know what, and this is nothing against this person, but imagine if somebody said, you know what, since we're just gonna rid ourselves of weight classes and divisions, let's stick Ronda Rousey up against Brock Lesnar. How do you think that's going to work out? Go ahead. How do you think that's going to work out? Yeah, maybe she'll do something, Lesnar. Maybe. But what do you think the odds are if we keep sticking people that aren't even 200 pounds in the ring with people that are 300 pounds? What do you think at some point is going to happen? There's a reason we do these weight classes. You know, it's not about equality or any of that shit. Sometimes you just got to be safe about how you're doing things and the performance and so on. There's reasons this shit's there. You know, it's safety nets, guys. It ain't a matter of people being sexist or people being against weight classes or, oh, if you do flips and kicks, you're not a good wrestler. It's just, I'm okay with divisions. I like my heavyweights. I like my lightweights. I like them to be separated into two different things, and it's fine. There's nothing sexist about it. There's nothing sexist about women facing women. Even some intergender matches are pretty good sometimes. But it's not sexist to say that I want to keep my divisions in place. That sometimes some things don't need to be 100% equal.
They got the 5-foot midget guys win the damn main titles. That don't make no sense.
Well,
cruiserweights, people. They need the cruiserweight title. I forgot to mention this, but we're recording this on the Monday, so anything can happen after this podcast. And you're probably going to say, this already happened. Today is Monday and tomorrow's Tuesday. So Monday Night Raw tonight, Friday Night SmackDown tomorrow. And you want to know when AEW's pay-per-view is? I wrote it down. That All Out Sunday, August 31st. That's the AEW pay-per-view. So we got that to look forward to. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's good. It's good that you pointed that out, though, because a lot of people will come in here and say we're late on news. We're always late on news. Like I said, we try to record these podcasts on Monday, and then we try to release them on Thursday. That's the way it goes. I would love to just put out as many podcasts as I'd like, but like I said, I'm also juggling this with my normal life. I got to go back, edit it, got to take out all the swear words, you know, the F-bombs, and I got to put in all the images. I got to do all the editing like that, and I got to get it out in between my normal life and making other video things and other images and other things that I'm working on in my life. So I do one a week. And with that said, you've got BBT here he'll do rants and stuff and things that, you know, it gives you guys something here and there. So if something's breaking news, he usually takes care of it.
Yeah, I'll be on here to probably talk about the rest of it. If it's just something little, then you have to say it for another podcast.
Yeah. Well, here's another thing. I'm just going to touch on this right now. I don't know how long we've went right now. Probably not that long. Like I said, this probably won't be the longest podcast of all. We're pretty much just talking about this one subject today. But here is something I'm going to talk about, and this is what's making me really mad. I had just watched a show. I'm not going to name drop these people. I'm not going to name drop who they were, but they were talking about they were talking about the wrestling in general, and they were talking about the Attitude Era, and they were talking about how it was just about people who grew up with that era. Now, I know that I grew up with it, and, I may have a bias, and I'm going to try to tuck that bias aside, but here's the thing. People want to get mad and say the Attitude Era wasn't better. They want to say that it was, just hear me out, BBT. They want to say, I've seen a lot of people saying the Attitude Era wasn't better, it was just different, and it was right for the times. It was right for the 90s. It was right for the people of that era.
That's not true.
Here's the thing. If that is the case, if that really was the case, then what's going on? Because back in the 90s and so on, it wasn't just a different time. It was also the ratings showed, the money showed, everything. It did the answer for you. And if that means, I guess in this case, different means better, because clearly everybody tries to be like the Attitude. Think about it. Every time something happens that's kind of like the Attitude Era, it's in Twitter trending, it's on social media, it's everywhere. But when they follow their normal show, you don't even fucking hear about it. Like, it barely even reaches anybody. But the moment somebody does something related to the 90s, hell, even movie remakes and everything are trying to live off of what used to be good, all of a sudden it's fucking great. Well, that's just because people used to like it. Well, then why ain't the modern fans making the modern things popular? Why ain't it trending every time?
The ratings are shit. You know what, these people, I can't believe there's people actually saying it. Oh, the Attitude Era is not as great as today's era? Is that what you're saying?
A lot of people believe that it's just different, not better. And that's
all right,
what they
there's
believe.
something wrong with these people. There's something seriously wrong up here. And you know what? I'm going to write you all a prescription medication. Hang on. There it is. There's your medication. Yeah!
Well, difference always trending on Twitter, apparently, and the modern stuff never really tends to trend unless somebody like almost breaks their neck or it's some sort of botch. Notice that when they do the normal PG modern stuff, the only time something trends is if somebody gets injured or if somebody like breaks script or something. In other words, it's still got a little bit of attitude in there. So in other words, the only time modern trends is when it has a taste of the past. Like, that's, if you're going to sit here and say it, stand by it. Like Twitter trending, news, social media, stand by what you're saying. Quit telling me this. Show me this. Like, that's what's pissing me off.
A lot of wrestlers today think the Attitude Era was the best era. I like the Ruthless Aggression era, a person like second best. Why can't we just have another Ruthless Aggression? It don't have to be Attitude where you have transvestites getting humped in the damn casket. I didn't like that part anyway.
No. It's not about appealing to the edgy child in me, the edgy teen that's like, oh boy, it's got to have cursing and blood. It's about stories making sense. Yes. And if you're going to do stories about wrestling and beating the shit out of each other to resolve your problems, it's going to be violent. Some people ain't always going to say the prettiest things, and they're not going to do the prettiest things. So if you're going to do a wrestling show about resolving issues with violence, it needs to make sense. Like, it's about the story. It's not about satisfying that edgy teen that's deep down inside of me.
And
that
PG does not matter. PG does not need to be a part of that shit. Keep PG the hell away from a show portraying violence.
Yeah, well,
say PG for a little cartoons or something. Bugs Bunny was more edgy than fucking today's shit.
BBT, I know you always say you're 40 years old. Well, I'm in my 30s. I'm not going to give specifics on how old I am, but I'm in my 30s right now. And I'll tell you right now that being in my 30s, yes, I can tuck in that edgy teen stuff. I don't give a shit about it being edgy anymore. It's like I said, it's just about it making sense with being a wrestling promotion. And you can't be a kid-friendly, really innocent thing with that kind of shit as pretty much the main theme of your show is beating the shit out of each other and being mean, being bullies. Uh-oh, key word there. Like, you can't be a PG show, really. So I don't know. That's just me personally. That's somebody in his 30s. That's me saying this, and I can still say that.
It has nothing to do with us being biased, because in the Attitude Era, guess what? The ratings were way much higher. They got to like 8 at times, I think. Today, no, it sucks. That's why that shit. The ratings are terrible, and you think today is better than the
It's not a video game. Like, I'll just be honest, I do not have clouded judgment, all right? It's not me liking the Attitude Era because that's what I did when I was younger and that's what I grew. No, it's like video games. It's like me saying, for example, I love The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, but I know it's ugly as shit today. And I know compared to modern games, it plays like garbage. But you know what? You know what? I understand that. I get that I just like it because of my childhood. It connects with me. But when it comes down to WWE, when it comes down to wrestling, this is not a video game. It's not about graphics and the mechanics aging poorly. The era was better for storytelling. And I don't mean the Kane weird shit. Yeah, it had plenty of weird shit. But there was the Stone Colds. There was the Rocks. And, there were all these guys. I could go through all these names. I'm not going to do it again. I tended to go through like a whole list of names. But the point being, it wasn't just because they were great. It's because they had, like I said, they had storylines. They had people to work off of that were just as great as them. That's where the thing comes in. Nowadays, it's people, either one of them's good and the other one's not that good. Like, none of them are, it's not great working off great. It's meh working off of bleh. Like, that's how it is almost every time now. So, that has nothing to do with the PG rating or anything like that.
You guys are just living in the past. Yeah, you were living in the past. We can say, oh, back in the day in my time, that show was better. But no, it's not that. It really was better. Just look at the ratings and the show was on there.
Well, I'm fine with living in the past and going back and reliving those memories sometimes, and I'll do that. I'll go back and look at old matches or sit here right now. I got the 3DS where it's because I jumped in front. I got this right here, and I played Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D. I'm living in the past with things that I'm allowed to live in the past with. I like these things. Not everybody does.
The past was good!
But that's just my past. And that doesn't, like I said, that's not clouding my judgment on the current product. It is all about who's in there and what they're doing. And the way they're writing stuff is just, no, it's not different. Yes, in my genuine opinion, the Attitude Era was better. The ratings were better. The product was hot as fire versus today. Now it's just lukewarm, if not cold. So that's different, but better at the same time. So go ahead.
Yeah. When you PG indie kids grow up to be actual adults, what are you going to look back on? I used to watch that WWE. It had some great matches with guys that did some flips and kicks. You're not going to be able to name off something great that happened. Damn, Stone Cold, The Rock, back in the day, had this big epic story, WrestleMania 17 and stuff.
I mean, we had Hulk Hogan versus The Rock.
Yeah, you had Hulk Hogan. No Stone Cold, though.
You're not. Who are you going to do that with today?
Hogan.
Like, who's going to happen? You know what we had today? John Cena versus The Rock. That was the closest to a Hogan versus Rock. And Rock took the place of Hogan this time. So, who's next? Think about it. Who's next? I guess John Cena will be taking the place of Rock next. And it'll be...
Where's your big stars at? Unless they change right at this second. They're getting older, too. AJ Styles ain't no young talent if he's supposedly a big star. He's in his 40s, I hear.
None of these guys are super duper young. So, it's not... Like I said, it's not just the rating. It's about the wrestlers. It's about the stories, the creative writing in general. They can make this thing whatever rating they want, put blood and gore and whatever. But if all your wrestlers are just going to do some flippy kickies, nobody gives a shit. They've got to build more than that. They've got to build more. And they don't all have to look like tanks either. But they've got to have something great about them. And nobody, like you were talking about that dude, the guy on AEW you were saying had some really good mic skills. He was coming, and I agree, he does have some good mic skills. What's his name?
ML something. I don't remember his name.
I think it's like MFG or something like that.
He is short as hell, man, but his charisma and his mic skills are way up there. And he's only in his early 20s, man.
Or MLG. And I don't remember what it is. Anyway, it was him. And here's the thing. He's got good mic skills. But I know you were getting aggravated because I was saying this, and you're supporting him and you're hoping for him. But here's the thing. It's not just about having good mic skills. You can go out there and remember exactly what you want to say and have good jokes and be able to think of it off the top of your head. But if you don't have something unique, like a quirk about you know how like The Rock's voice was and the way he would talk about it, or Stone Cold, they had a twist about them. It wasn't just being good on a mic, it was the way they said things, the way they portrayed themselves, that sold themselves. There was a unique value about them. This guy seems good, but he seems like his talking is good, but his voice, his vocals, the way he carries himself is average at best. I still don't look at him and say, oh, this guy's going to be the next big star. I say, he reminds me of guys like Ken Kennedy. They were great wrestlers, and they were good on the microphone, but they still were not... Well, let me tell you something, brother. The Rock says, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. There wasn't something that just sounded different about these guys.
It's been a long time since we've seen somebody like that because everybody's been neutered. WWE, your balls are chopped off and shit.
more promising than most people backstage, sure. But on that level of he could hit legendary status, he don't make my eyes open really wide the way I've seen Hogan and stuff like that, you know?
Just think about it, man. He's not even in his prime yet. He's got a long ways to go. He can improve even more.
If he finds...
Right now. Cutting promos at this age right now, man, he's got something going.
If he does something that stands out from anybody else besides just some clever words, if he sounds different, acts different, like I said, then maybe I'll look at him and say, there's something different about that guy. Like, the way he does things is different. It's not just about him saying things, like I said.
Well, soon you'll probably see him feuding with Chris Jericho. If they see something, and then you'll see him with Jon Moxley. That's the only 3 guys I'm interested in AEW, no homo.
By the way, let me check the time on here and see how long we've went. I still had to do a clip. But you know what? It's mainly because I had to drop something in front of the window. Hey, guys, guess what? I got another monitor sitting right here. And I can't use it. I can't use it. I don't have the wire for it. I don't have the right wire for it anyway, the wire that works with it. So anyway, when I get a wire now, I'll be able to use the damn thing. So I finally got the second monitor, and I still can't use it yet. When that day comes, I won't have to worry about having to pull shit up in front of my program here every single time. Trust me,
I've covered everything I'm going to cover, so you go ahead, man.
Well, I mean, that's what we came on here to talk about, was the PG, what we thought about the current era, how we thought it could age, like the difference between then and now. And here's the thing, like I said, I think this one's going to age differently than the last one. I think it will be a different attitude era if it comes around. It won't be the 90s attitude era. Obviously. It won't be. It will age differently, and I think when we get up to another time in life, we'll look back at it and say that was... maybe even diet attitude era. I don't know. Depends on how far we go in life, how PC we get in life. So we may be hitting diet attitude era. I don't know.
WWE, you better ignore the PC shit. If you're going to do edgy stuff, you got to ignore it. Fox don't give a shit about this PC. That's why they don't want that on their show. And SmackDown goes there to TV 14 on Fox.
Well... there's always going to be somebody that's offended by something.
I'm offended. Get out of here. It's just a show about violence.
Oh, and guess what? More big news to throw at you. AEW made a little tiny bit of mainstream news. They was in Arby's. Arby's did some art with Jon Moxley on their food.
The hell? That's not news.
That's about as most mainstream as I've seen AEW so far, other than it being on Twitter. And I guess
you're gonna have Jon Moxley in your Happy Meal, man. Chris Jericho, McDonald's. That'd be nice. I don't ever see wrestling in restaurants. You know, like their toys. Sometimes I'll buy a Happy Meal.
The storyline right now that I think everybody wants to know about would probably be with AEW. Would probably be that. Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley, because even though you don't like Kenny Omega, he's the bigger guy with the bigger guy. So it's Indy's favorite Indy love child over here, I guess I'll say, and WWE main event love child with Jon Moxley facing off against each other. So that's a big deal. That's like the big AEW event going on, is those two right now. But aside from that, I bet I hate to take so many jabs at Cody Rhodes, but I gotta say it. I bet Cody Rhodes, deep down inside, as happy as he is that his business is succeeding, that he's seeing Jon Moxley take centerpiece. Everybody, it's all Moxley, even Arby's. It's all Moxley. Nobody's making stuff with Cody Rhodes. They're making it with Moxley, man. And I'm sure he's seeing that and thinking, shit, I wanted to be the centerpiece. So, I could be wrong, but
biggest, hottest thing to hit AEW, man. That was breaking news. All WWE, that shocked the hell out of them when he joined them.
Yeah, so anyway, that's all I got to say about AEW. Moxley seems to be the hottest thing. Cody Rhodes, man, like I always say, don't get jealous. But I'm not seeing him get jealous about it, but I see a lot of stuff with his wife all over the place on Twitter. Man, she is like everywhere, man. Like I never even knew who the hell she was until this company happened, and now they're acting like she's been a legend for years. Who the hell is she? Why is she on the front cover of everything?
Cody Rhodes' wife. That's not why I'm watching the show. I don't know her.
I don't give a shit about it. She's got to earn something before I care. She's on the front cover of the next pay-per-view or whatever.
She'll be the AEW. She'll be the AEW Divas champion in no time.
I don't give a shit.
Women's wrestler gotta be PC for that because they'll get offended if you say diva. Diva's easier to say. She's a damn diva. Get over it.
If she does something, that's fine. But the fact that she's on the damn cover already and she's not done anything really to make her like above any other female wrestler. What the hell? Why is she everywhere, man? I know why she's there. Why am I asking that question? She's on there because she's the wife of Cody Rhodes.
And being shoved down our throats, deep-throated.
Just you wait. It's going to be the next main event, ladies and gentlemen. AEW. One poster over here, we got Billy Bob Tanley. And on the next poster, we have Cody Rhodes' dog. They're going to be facing one-on-one for the AEW Championship. Who's going to win? Cody Rhodes' dog's going to win.
His dog. Why would I fight his dog? I just tell it to give me a damn beer, and it probably
because
would.
It needs.
My dog would beat it. Spud would beat the hell out of Cody Rhodes' dog.
And I'm sorry, BBT, you got to let the dog go over on you. Cody Rhodes' orders, man.
Cody Rhodes, he had a good match with Goldust. That's all I know. That's the only thing I respect him for. He had a good match with Goldust.
And then he botched a chair shot and got a bunch of stitches and started bragging about taking a severe injury on Twitter.
That is literally that shouldn't even be breaking news because we've seen that shit countless times in the Attitude Era Ruthless Red. The chair shots did not matter, but it just looked like a normal chair shot, man.
Imagine if we
had... he wasn't protected! Oh, I'm so offended! Get the hell out of here!
Imagine
he wanted it to happen.
Imagine if we had Twitter back in the Attitude Era when Mick Foley got that tooth stuck up his nose and he jumped off. Yeah, he fell off that cell and everything. Oh,
God, that would have been lawsuits and everybody would have been offended.
That would have been some news, though, man. That would have been some news.
So, they would have been making it PG sooner, probably, thanks to social media and the internet.
Well,
I'm offended. I want to punch her in the fucking throat.
So, yeah. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and just get off here. Here's the thing. The segment, I know we've went for a little bit. Like I said, it's just that one particular time. We don't have any questions. Nobody's asking any questions. I've got it scrolling down below constantly, but I don't guess anybody... Either nobody's interested or...
John Cena? What do you hate? That's trolls.
Billy, why do you hate John Cena?
Don't start asking me. I've said a billion... Why do you think a lot of other people don't like Cena? Go to their rants and watch them. Then you'll find out. It's pretty much my same opinion.
So anybody sticking around after this point is just going to hear me rant about it. One thing I saw...
Yeah, this is just random. We're done with the damn shit.
Here's something I saw was I watched Bumblebee. Transformers spinoff. John Cena in that movie, man. You probably haven't seen it. But he is just... No offense to Cena. I commend him for trying. But he reminds me of an actor straight out of Power Rangers, man. I could not believe that was a Hollywood movie. Like, I've never seen Cena act. I've never seen him act. Like, I thought he would be a pretty good actor. Based off what I've seen in the ring, I thought, well, he's not going to be bad because he's got emotions down pretty good. But then I seen him, and he's still green. But I'll just give him that. But he's still green. But in that movie, he's like, we have to take down the robots. We have to take them down. Let's get to it. Like, he's Power Rangers level bad. Like, that's the only way I can put it. Like, he's just... The way he says things, the way his body motions and everything, he needs some training, man. He needs
make him a rapper, man.
Just
make him a rapper in those movies. Let him do his character rapper gimmick in the movie. There you go.
He needs to pick up the phone and give Dwayne Johnson a call and ask for some advice. Because while Dwayne may not be godly, he is a better actor by far than John Cena. And I'll say that based off what I've seen now. And I have seen Cena in a movie now. And oh my God, it was just... He was probably the worst part when it comes to acting in that movie. Don't get me wrong, I got entertained seeing him. Every time he'd show up, I'd smile because, holy shit, it's John Cena. That's funny. But that was just my mindset. But, I mean, as an actor, if I didn't know who he was, if I didn't know him, I would have been like, what the hell? Like, who is this guy?
Cena was in other movies, too, though, man.
That's just the only one I've seen him in. That's the only one I've seen him in. So
he's involved in some kind of sex scene on one movie. I don't even know what it's called. And he's
boy, I need to get right on that.
He's bragging about himself though as he's doing it with the girl. He's like, "Oh, talk about me or something." I'll react to a YTP version of it. That's all I know. I forgot what it was called.
Okay, so we're at the end segment. Like I said, there's no questions. So instead of doing questions, I'm going to go ahead and plug this right now. Me and Billy are, at some point, we're going to do live stream on his channel. He's got a shitty internet, so expect a few little hiccups. You guys will get over it. It's fine. There'll be a few hiccups here and there.
We could just do this at another location and just you never know.
Possibly, but we can't do it every single time. So if we start doing live streams on his channel... you will have to deal sometimes, many times, most of the time you'll have to deal with his shitty internet. Sometimes he might be able to come over here and we'll record it,
4 megabytes, man.
But in the meantime, we are going to have to stream with him.
Ever.
Yeah, so we'll talk about stuff with that, and we'll just get on there and we'll rant. And, I know we ran enough about stuff with the website we're currently uploading to. I'm not going to say the name right here because I know algorithm probably kick our ass for it. But with the website we're currently on, we'll probably rant a little bit about that while we're on there too, because there's some new things I'd like to talk about. But yeah, we'll get on his stream. So if you want to see more of me and you want to see more of Billy, clearly, it's going to be up on his channel. We're going to go on there. We'll talk. We'll have fun. Just kind of chat around, because I know Billy don't like doing live streams too much by himself. So I told him, why the hell not? I'll join him. I'll get on there and talk to him a little bit.
Slow ass man talking about wrestling.
People tend to like that, though. I mean, the only problem is there's not enough to talk about if you're not bouncing off somebody sometimes.
I can't read everybody's comments either. They go too fast for me, man. I can't handle that shit.
So, yeah, let's just go ahead and call it right now. Make sure to leave your feedback in the description below. Questions, guys. Hashtag question. Okay? Hashtag question. I'll put a little text or something up here, and then put your question. Please ask us some questions. All right, it's there. It's available for you. I don't know if you're just not seeing the text down below or what, but we can't answer questions at the end segment if we don't have them. And we're trying to do something for you guys and give you guys some answers, whatever it is you want to talk about. But you got to remember to ask them, because a lot of times I'll just ask them in the stream. So anyway, yes, questions down below. We will answer them right here on this show. Make sure to like. Make sure to hit that bell icon. Click all notifications, please. If you feel like we earned it, please click all notifications. We sure appreciate it.
Yeah, give it a thumbs up, people. It helps the video get out.
That thumbs up really does help in the algorithm. It pushes us up. Like I said, we're trying to make WrestleChumps something great, so please hit that thumbs up. We sure do appreciate it. It means a lot to our hearts and souls, especially Billy, who really needs it. Really, really needs it, because he's like all the time getting probed and stuff by aliens and is in constant depression.
I've not been getting probed, man. Not lately.
It helps him feel better. See, he's already gagging something up that probably got put in the other way. So let's go ahead and call it a day.
Stop it, man.
So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. BBT, do you have any last words?
You gonna cut me off, are you?
I'm not going to cut you off, but go ahead and say whatever you like, whatever's on your mind right now. Go!
All right.
Hey, you made it to the end. Here's a cookie and some plugs. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and smack that bell icon with your face. Maybe not do that last part. I don't want to get sued. If you like what you've seen here, maybe consider supporting the show on our Patreon at patreon.com/MightyVMedia. Mighty V makes all kinds of content, like this show, Jeffrey Gaggins, and even some gaming guy called Proto-something. Lots of extras on Patreon, including unfiltered versions of the show, and one tier even has downloadable .waveform podcasts. It's flippin' great! Anyway, thank you for watching, and stick around right here for more WrestleChumps to come. We love you dearly. Thank ye! Oh yeah, don't forget to visit this chump named Billy Bob Tanley. He does some reactions and crap over on his channel. Get over and subscribe to him and give him some love. Bye!